Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, all of whom are loved and welcomed in this space. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Bibliotheque of Boba Fett, the only Book of Boba Fett focused discussion show hosted by the Imperial Senate Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Ashby, and joining me, as always, is my beloved assassin, friend.
Love the hesitation on that.
Co-writer. I'm trying to think of loads of Master Assassin, Claire Striven.
What's up? Hey, friends.
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm surviving. I am surviving. Yeah, it's good.
For people that, for people that don't know, Claire has been in a Bacta tank for the last few.
I wish I was in a Bacta tank. I really do wish I was in a Bacta tank. Yeah, I'm just saying. Vaccinated, boosted. It's been 2 months since I've been boosted, and still caught COVID-19 and it knocked me on my butt. So I'm just saying you should go get vaccinated and go get boosted, because I can't imagine how thoroughly knocked on my butt I would be if I was not. So anyway, public service announcement. It's not fun, guys.
You heard it here with the Scoop Network. COVID-19, not fun.
Not fun. I know, controversial topic. So sorry if I mute myself. It's because I'm dying.
But no, yeah, absolutely. Get vaccines. If you haven't got your vaccines yet, you're an idiot. Get them immediately. Get your booster shot. If you don't want to be called an idiot, get your vaccines. Now stop doing that.
And protect your neighbors who can't.
Yeah, and wear a mask. Don't don't do this. That's not a mask. Wear a proper mask. Wear it everywhere.
Hold it over the nose.
Nose and mouth, guys.
And don't cough in people's faces. You're weird.
My favorite is like the weirdos in the grocery store who are like, technically it's on my face, but it's completely under your chin. I'm like, I will murder you.
Yeah, like, Chad, your goatee can't get COVID. You're fine. But yeah, we're joined by a very special guest this week. She is the mother of this show, quite frankly.
Mom.
She's the owner of Not Safe for Work podcasts. She is a co-host of Rogue Podron, and she is amazing. It's Seth.
It's me. I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm wearing pajama pants, but I'm good.
Me too.
It's the best pants.
Yes.
Got some lovely tracksuit bottoms on. Got my full Hawkeye tracksuit bros gap on.
Nice.
How's things going in New Zealand?
Well, it's really hot. Like, it's really fucking hot. Wait, I can swear in this, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's really hot. We're a day ahead of y'all. And gotta say, not much happening over here.
No. One day further in 2022, still the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh no. Anyway, this was a fun episode. No, but yeah, pretty good. Saf, we talk about this quite often because we both have a shared love for a certain character, and that is not just the character, just the just Tamora Morrison in general as a being, as a god. How has it been like looking forward to the Book of Boba Fett?
It's been very exciting. I've been looking forward to it for a while. Ever since Mandalorian made me love Boba Fett as a character unexpectedly. Yeah, I've been really, really psyched for it. Very happy that it's finally here.
It's one of those things where I think this week even more so than usual because it was like a bit longer. I was like, it really hit me how lucky we are to have this show. And
we really are.
To talk about this episode with you, episode 2, the Tribes of Tatooine. So, shall we get started?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go through chronologically, but again, per usual, feel free to jump around if you have any ideas or thoughts. We try to stick to in chronological order, but don't worry about it if you've got something to say. But we'll start off.
Try is the key word here.
Try is our motto.
Do we try hard?
We laugh at Yoda.
No, but we technically do put an effort in.
There is trying.
That's what makes it worse. Is that we put the effort in.
I know. True.
First point, meeting the mayor. So, obviously, the episode kickstarts off from last time, where Boba Fett was nearly assassinated by this group of assassins. Fennec gets, I know, crazy that. It's almost like that's the job, isn't it? Fennec takes the prisoner all the way back to Jabba's palace, or should we say Boba's boutique? I don't know, what do we call Boba's palace?
It's Boba's
Boba's
palace.
boutique.
Yeah, it's boutique. What are they doing?
Selling
Selling
little-
fancy shirts?
Oh, I wish. Can you imagine that? It makes you
Oh,
starve.
man.
You got to go to the trip and then come back. You can make your own little build a bear
Amazing.
workshop. No, but we see him come back. They threaten to get information out of this warrior by sending them to the Sarlacc pit. I just love that still works. That little.
You got the wrong monster there, buddy.
What did I say? Sarlacc pit.
You did.
Look at his face. He's just like, what have I done?
Wow.
What have
Fake
I
nerd.
done?
Absolute
know.
fake nerd.
I need to leave. The Rancor pit, obviously. I was testing you guys because
Mhm.
I'm a man in Star Wars, and that's what men do. They have to make sure that you,
That's
if you're
true.
a woman, you need
That's
to know.
true.
No, yeah, the Rancor pit. No Rancor, just one small little mouse, which I thought was really funny. I'm sure that will get his own character in one FAC
God.
POV book. The Mouse of Tatooine by
Oh my
Chuck
God.
Wendig.
Don't even.
That's not the mouse that needs its story. The one is the one that's wiping the sweat off a Hut face.
Oh,
is the one that
Jesus.
needs its own
yeah,
story here.
we'll
We'll get
we'll
there.
get to
I
that.
remember we said try earlier. Try to keep it in
Yeah.
order, but I cannot.
But yeah, what did you think about the opening sequence with the mayor and like getting there, interrogating, intrigue, setting up this sort of mystery plot?
I just thought there were a lot of really funny beats, which I liked.
Yeah, especially with the mayor's like assistant, who is like,
Oh, that
I'm
wormy guy.
obsessed with him. I'm
don't know, I don't-
obsessed with the Major Domo.
has he got a name yet?
He's-
Because I want to call him Douche.
I just call him
Fortuna.
Wormy because he's kind of wormy looking.
Wormy.
Yeah.
He's kind of wormy looking and
Yeah.
acting.
Have you ever watched
Oh,
Veep?
well, you're not allowed to come back here. Okay, well, never mind.
Like
All
the
right, Mr.
TV
Ray.
series.
Mhm.
I saw a little bit of it.
Have you watched it, Claire?
I have.
You know who that is, right?
I do know who that is.
So in Veep, the vice president's ex-husband, Andrew, is like this like womanizer piece of shit. That's him.
Oh,
Which is so funny.
And it's like, as soon as I noticed it, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Like, he's just perfect for the role.
I don't like that he's human flesh colored.
He's a little bit more orange though, right?
No, he's very fleshy, and I don't like it.
You don't like flesh.
It makes me think about the fact that the Leku are actually like flesh, and I don't like that. I don't like that reminder. I prefer it when they look a bit more alien, like when they're blue or something.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But
Because he's just kind of like he's just a guy. He's a guy who's got weird tentacles on his head.
He's some
How
weird
rude.
guy.
He's just some guy.
who is this guy? Yeah, no, I thought it was really cool. Like the comedic bits in that sequence is like him just being complete like, oh, I'm sorry, we ain't got an appointment for you right now, but if you can talk to no, okay. And then Boba Fett's like, fuck this. Like I nearly died. I've been through shit all my life. I don't have time for this.
Oh man. He also looks like the other guy who's like the receptionist at the mayor's office. Can I just shout out him looking like every guy I've ever met in a bar in Old Town? If you're from Chicago, you might get that reference, but he literally just looks like with the mustache and the long hair and the hat. I'm like, okay, I know this guy. I know a lot of this guy. He was a very particular breed of person. I'm like, oh God. And like just like maybe 23 years old, 22, 23, like just able to be there in the bar, just able to grow a mustache, and he's just vibing. Yeah, I know that guy. It took me back.
It also reminds me of all the small galaxy criticisms when people are like, everyone knows who everyone is, especially if you're a big name character. And this dude is like, oh, Boba Fett, okay.
Who the fuck is that?
Not on my menu.
Small galaxy who, baby?
Exactly. I just like the idea of that. Is it any character like Darth Vader. I'm just looking at my notes.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. And Boba Fett's trying to be so cool. Oh man, that bit is great.
You know damn well who I am. It's like, oh, so cool. I'm gonna use that in like the future.
Thank goodness for that helmet, because he'd probably be like beat red under there.
Also, I've never related more to a character than I did with Fennec at the beginning of this episode. Just completely done and completely destroying people that are overrated for their job. You know, when you see people and you're like, these people suck, and they like pay loads of money for it. Like, fuck that.
That's me in the grocery store. Literally, Fennec is me being like buying generic cereal, just being like, you pay for the brand. You don't pay for
it's the same thing.
It's the same cereal. You pay for the name. Okay. I will get my cereal for 75 cents less. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Cornflakes? What is this crap? I buy flakes of corn.
Oh man. I like my puffed rice cereal. Thank you very much.
I like how your direct response to that was like groceries, and mine was like, all I could think of was Hasbro. You just buy it for the name. Darth Vader, carbonized, on holiday.
It's not even a very good name, too, isn't it?
It's not really, no.
It could be. There's better names out there. I'm looking at you, Hasbro.
Yeah. About time they've taken to task. But yeah, and then we have obviously the meeting sequence where the mayor is basically saying, I wasn't behind this hit, and that actually there's a lot more going on Tatooine than you think. Like, just taking over the seat isn't enough. There's also the actual task of having to like get all the tribes together, and because obviously everyone wants a bit of that power control, and there's obviously a lot more than just killing one person and taking power, and that's where the twins come in. Which, as soon as I heard the twins, I was like,
oh, I heard the twins, and my first thought was the anime.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, the twins, and I was like, not those twins.
Star Wars and its twins, man.
Star Wars loves its twins.
Yeah. Also, can I briefly, before we move on to the twins, have we seen a bearded or fuzzy Ithorian before? I didn't think that was a thing. That he had like facial hair, and I'm like,
he is fuzzy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you are an underwater creature, typically? Question mark.
Are they? But, you know, like forest guys.
I don't know, because it just like
Ithorian.
I haven't seen a bearded Ithorian before. I'm like, I like your scruff, dude. Yeah, I like it. You know, you look very distinguished. Whatever you got going on there. And it's just always lovely to see one with the voice changer on his mouths. It just feels good. Feels good.
I like he just sounds like a normal guy.
I know. It's Robert Rodriguez,
so
right?
Normal.
I know, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like, I like how he's just like, I'm gonna play more than one character and you can't stop me. By the way, sorry about the light. I'm being blinded here.
Jeez. It looks like you're about to get raptured there, Charlie.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh no. No, I can't do the show. I'm not logged into her account.
It's all those sins you've been doing, Claire. You were going to say something. Was there anything else you wanted to add before you move on?
I enjoy fuzzy bearded Ithorians and voice changers. And just him being a normal dude. That's
Also, his outfit it rocks. Like, he's got a great outfit.
Yes. Oh my god. Them threads.
And I don't know if it's this sequence or like straight afterwards where we're getting into now, but the bit with the it's like a bikini clad wolf lady.
A husk, yeah.
I was like, oh, hello.
When I watched it with my friend earlier, I paused it so to make sure she saw it. I was like, you gotta see this.
What did you?
You're welcome.
What's our thoughts on this brand new character?
It's like that character there is someone's glub shitter, you know?
Oh, I hope so.
I also like the shot right after that is like a droid that's very clearly just a dude like in a barrel. like the droid legs are obviously just dude's legs like in like tubes.
Really the rain barrel. It's literally a rain barrel. Somebody found it on Amazon.
Oh
they just painted a rain barrel. They found the exact barrel.
Because it's so obvious it's just a dude.
See,
it's amazing.
I really want that to be canon. That it is just a dude. Like he's on the run.
Pretending to be a droid.
He's pretending to be a droid. Like David, we know it's you. You're wanted for murder. It's like, beep boop, not me.
Come out of the barrel, David.
We know it's you. But yeah, obviously we move on to the big appearance of a very interesting character from the comics that I wasn't expecting to see, especially not in this episode. But the fact that we have seen them is very interesting and might lead to some speculation. And that is Black Krrsantan and twins. How
I'm so
Claire,
happy.
your face in that reaction was great.
I love him.
Like I saw some people's reactions. There's like a lot of shock. Some people weren't sure who it was. And Claire, yours was great because it was so matter of fact. You were like talking about something else. You were like, Black Krrsantan.
It was just instant, like, oh, the boy, he's here. Oh my god, that's not good. That's not good for you, Mr. Fett, sir. Oh my god, he's so beefy. Like even for like Wookiees, I love to see how like actually beefy he is, because comic book art, you can kind of give or take some creative levity, but no,
that's a big boy.
It's a big ass boy, and I am so excited. He's so scary. He's so scary. I love the Afra comics, so he shows up every other day to be like, "Get your shit together, Afra, or I will put the bounty in on you." And she's just like, "No, we're gonna be fine." Always weasels her way out of it, but I was so excited. And if they're hiring him, that's no good. Very no good. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. Also, the twins. How about the way the Hutt twins jiggled?
Oh my god, they jiggle so much.
Oh my god. I understand Diego Luna more than I ever have in my whole life. That's just like, it's a texture that I need to discover, is exactly how I feel about that. Like, Diego, I get it. You and me, man. Instantly, I'm like, I want to touch the Jabba bellies. No, the Hutt bellies. Like, oh my god. So anyway, how about you guys?
There was a lot of jiggle there, yeah.
So Claire, you said what do we think about the Hutts, right?
I want to touch him.
Want to touch him?
Who wants to touch a Hutt? I want to touch a Hutt.
You know what? I'll touch a Hutt.
I'll touch two.
That's right. We got twins.
Can you imagine giving birth to those two? Oh, Mama Hutt.
I'm just trying to imagine them as little stinkies, just like
little stinkies.
Little stinkies.
Oh.
Well, by the way, I hope Stinky, wherever he is,
I hope he's okay.
I hope he's chasing his dreams.
I think doesn't give a shit about his death. Like a house. His cousins are getting involved.
Yeah, that's true.
But then we don't know
he's
how
off living his own life. He could be in Star Waver. He could be, he could be doing his own thing. That's probably not Stinky. Otherwise, that would be a whole new level to that story, because they literally.
I don't know. I kind of really want Bobby Moynihan to be Stinky. Hey, it's me, Stinky. Also, yeah, Black Krrsantan, like, it's just awesome. It's one of those things where you just watch it and go, "Oh yeah, Obi-Wan gave him that scar." Like this.
Yep,
this
that's
guy
definitely
fought...
that's definitely what I did. Yep, absolutely.
Like, Obi-Wan Kenobi fought this dude. Like,
I saw him and I was like, "Wow, he looks like a character who's already established in Star Wars." That's so weird. And then didn't think about it any further than that.
He's just
like, he's got the look of a character that's like designed for Star Wars already. He looks like a cameo character.
Especially the lingering screen time.
Yeah. It's like, occurred to me at all that he was. I was like, he's just a cool looking Wookiee that just kind of looks like he'd be a cameo.
Wikipedia. Don't worry, we had that exact same thing with some other characters in this episode.
Oh, don't worry, I did too.
Yep.
Because I know that people like. By the way, I we got comments like being like, "I can't believe you didn't notice Cammy and Fix." I'm like, there is no way, unless you were the actress that plays Cammy and the actor that plays Fixer. There's no. The majority.
The worst thing about that is
people...
like, I saw people talking about how there was like a cameo of those characters because I watched it like a little bit later. So I saw people talking about that. Didn't register in my brain at all. Like, it went right over my head. In the subtitles, it says she's Cammy. Like, they call her Cammy in the subtitles, and I was like, "Huh, Cammy. That's an interesting name." And then I wrote the notes for Rogue Podron, and I called him some dude and her his companion. And everyone else in Rogue Pod started talking about how it was Fixer and Cammy. I was like, oh shit, that makes so much more sense. Because I was kind of like, why did they give her a name? They never use it.
Yeah, they don't.
But it turns out it's another cameo.
A cameo. I think Charlie made that joke earlier.
Yeah, a cameo.
A cameo. But yeah, it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not watching the deleted scenes from A New Hope every day. Believe it or not. Not the first thing on my watch list. It's actually pretty darn low on my watch list. Way far behind the actual movie itself. The finished cut, not just the deleted scenes. So, yeah, that did not register in my brain. And also, you guys are total dorks for picking this one up. Being like, you didn't know? I don't
believe
you're calling yourself out by like being condescending about knowing. Right. Like, this is on you, not me. Right.
I don't believe them.
This is a you problem.
The majority of people are like, oh yeah, I spotted that first time. I'm like, no, you didn't. You can know who Cammy and Fixer are. Like, we know who Cammy and Fixer are, but
you can open Twitter, you stupid.
Yeah.
Fools.
You only know because people told you.
Exactly, and you shouldn't be afraid of admitting that. That doesn't make you less of a fan.
Know things. I don't know things all the time, and I admit that. Unfortunately, I know a lot about Star Wars, but there's a lot I also don't know.
You're technically in Star Wars.
I'm technically in Star Wars, yeah.
You are, yeah. You're canon, baby.
We need to find more of that character later on. But yeah, the twins looked... Okay, this is an interesting topic I was discussing with a friend of the show, Alden, which is with the huts. Would you have preferred creature or CG? Because for me, I feel like they went the best route. Like, I think CG looked amazing. I thought, like, Claire, you were saying that the jiggliness of the... I love to work at ILM and be like, we need more jiggly here. I think that works really well. I think they've really perfected the hut design. And I was also just thinking, just in terms of like bit working in that set, like you have to make a whole costume. We know that with the hut, Jabba the Hutt, there's like what, 60 people, 60 people in there during COVID time. You don't really want that.
Also, like, they're being carried on a litter.
Yeah.
It's probably easier to have nothing up there, really, rather than like two big ass puppets and a bunch of dudes.
That's true. That is also true.
I mean, they could probably, use the magic of technology to film them elsewhere and put them on the litter. But what's the fun in that?
Right, exactly. I demand the people actually carrying humans on the litter.
Like, yeah, Jabba's one of those characters that I don't mind being CG now. Like, really? And when people go, yeah, but this is the script, I'm like, look at all the other stuff that is practical. You got to think about COVID. You got to think about practicality, cost-wise.
Yeah, it's very expensive to make a puppet that big.
Yeah.
If it's CG and it works, just do that. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was really good.
I thought they looked great. Obviously, I got no complaints. My heart is always like team puppet. Like, there's a part of my soul, my little muppety soul, that I'm just like, I need team puppet. But no,
the Jim Henson inside us all.
This looks great. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, can we just like do a puppet with CGI effects? But this looks amazing. I'm like, I ain't mad. They faked me into wanting to touch something that wasn't even there. Rat bastards.
That's an edit.
They changed your mind.
Yeah.
Speaking of practical effects, I think there is a character that would be practical if done, but we're going to talk about the fact that they didn't appear in this episode again. This is our segment we like to call Salacious Watch. No Salacious Bikram in this episode. We've got Max Rebo again, or Matt Rebo, his brother. We don't know if that's
Max or Matt. I don't know
Max.
Which one.
Is it Max there?
It is Max.
Is it not his twin
I don't
brother?
know how I know this, but I do know this for sure. It is Max.
Well, we're jokingly, our fan theory is that they're like the Gallagher brothers, and that there was a famous Rebo band that was like Oasis, and like Max was Liam Gallagher, and this is like the Noel Gallagher of the band. He survived. No, obviously
Matt Gallagher.
Matt Rebo.
Matt Gallagher. Matt Rebo.
Matt Rebo, yeah. He's got a
Matt
little
Rebo.
jacket on. But yeah, I thought it was really cool to see them again. The little cantina band dude.
I like the droid that has the symbol on its head.
The hi-hat.
I love that droid so much. There are really good droids in this episode.
So many. And like whoever on Twitter pointed out that it's a literal hi-hat. I don't remember who you were.
Oh my god.
I was about to say give you a big hug, but it is COVID, so I'm gonna give you a fond thumbs up from far away. From over 6 feet. Like
Jesus, you look jacked there.
I look jacked? I am jacked, Charlie.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll take that compliment back. Like I give you a compliment and you immediately think I'm being horrible.
Make me beat you up.
Jesus, okay. That's a Patreon bonus. But yeah, I the droids looked amazing this episode. That has he got a name? That droid, the drum droid. Can we call it R1NG0?
No. Absolutely not.
Why?
Let him have his own identity.
I'm a little Ringo Star droid. He just comes back next episode with a little mustache.
Oh my god, I'd be so happy.
What did you see? I thought that with Jennifer Beals character, I feel like she's a more skin-toned Twi'lek.
She's also skin. They're both skin-toned. Like, trust me, that dude is very pale, fleshy.
I need to go back.
She also is. It makes me very uncomfortable. I also feel like there's a commentary in there about how the more humanoid-looking Twi'leks are the ones that are actually in charge of stuff, as opposed to the ones who are like colorful, like blue and stuff, who are like the slaves.
That's interesting.
I feel like there's some commentary in there about that, but also it probably is because logically, like in reality, because it's cheaper to have the character who's doing more talking and everything to not have to paint them up and everything.
Yeah.
So they're probably accidentally putting some kind of commentary in there about Star Wars races.
SJW out of my Star Wars.
This was never in my original Star Wars about blowing up the fascist big building.
I didn't catch any of that. Did you, Seth?
I got like 10% maybe.
Sorry, let me clarify that. There was none of this in my original Star Wars, which had blowing up a fascist big building, aka the Death Star,
the big fascist gun.
We're gonna ignore the word stormtroopers. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
If anything, Hitler stole that from Star Wars.
Oh my god.
I think what's like really cool about this whole sequence is that obviously like he's trying to maintain control. We know there's going to be like a factious debate between Boba Fett standing his ground and then all these other tribes and the way that he fights back against them. I'm really intrigued to see where this goes. Like I get intrigued by the opening like moments of the current day storylines, but as soon as they get back to the past, the flashbacks, I've got to admit I'm more focused on those. Even though I love Fennec Shand and I really hope they focus more on her in future episodes, I really like the flashbacks.
Yeah, I dig the flashbacks.
Should we dive into that?
Yes, let's do it.
Here we go. Put your back to tank on because we're going training Tuskens and trains. We see Boba after last week. He, helped them out, helped the little kid out, became part of the tribe a little bit. And now they're sort of training him, seeing what he's like, seeing how he interacts with everything. We get like nice little fight
the groundlings. It's like joining the groundlings or Second City. You got to take your classes first, and then you move on to your next level. And then you go through the system, and then you eventually can go on stage, which happened in this episode. And then next episode, he's full member of the tribe. He's full member of the groundlings.
He gets his little plus.
I hate myself. Continue.
We get a really cool sequence with the Tusken female warrior and
God, I love her. I love her so much.
I kept seeing people go, "Oh yeah, he's really cool." I'm like, It's clearly a woman.
It's clearly a lady. Like, even before I knew like who her stunt actress was, I was
me
like,
too.
that's clearly a lady.
Yeah, it's pretty like, and because I know people are going,
It's because she doesn't have like, you know, big bazongas. They're not like, oh, she's a woman.
You do require those in order to be identified as a woman. Did you know?
Otherwise you're obviously a dude.
No
And
tits
there's like
for
no
your dude.
lipstick. No, nothing
No
like
lipstick,
that.
no makeup.
That would be funny though, like the Tusken like mouth.
Just lipstick over top of the mask.
Hello there. It's a big Kenobi on like dating site. No, but I yeah, there's that, but there's also like I know a lot of people are like, well, in Attack of the Clones, we saw that the women were wearing this. I'm like, women don't all wear the same clothes in real life. Apply that logic and knowledge to Star Wars.
Yeah, there's more than like 5 Tusken Raiders.
Yeah,
and it's different tribes.
Lots of different tribes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's different tribes, and like there's obviously different outfits even within this tribe. You can see that they're dressed differently and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like ceremonial reasons for different colors.
Dude, have some imagination for once.
See,
That's
yeah,
not possible.
Turns out not everything's a plot hole if you pay attention to the story, writing, and the thing they're telling you. I swear, one day we're gonna have fucking TV shows and movies that are like, "This is what I mean by this. I am bad." See, because badness.
Yeah,
some people can't handle anymore
morally negative things. So obviously I'm evil and I should die.
People, they suck. But continuing on from what we were talking about last week, Claire, in terms of like what is Boba's arc in this show, especially in the flashbacks. And of course, we had my little theory about how I feel like he's going to be ingratiated into the tribe, and that something bad's going to happen to the tribe, especially the young child, or perhaps the warrior. Looks like we're getting closer to that this week.
I don't like your theory. I don't like it.
I could be very wrong, but my theory is that he's just going to leave the tribe because he needs to go get his armor.
Well,
and he's going to say goodbye to them, and nothing bad's going to happen to them.
Well, my theory
That's
was
my
that
theory.
My theory was that maybe something bad happens to them because he like all he wants, Boba, in my opinion, like the reason why I love this character is that all he ever really wants is a family. Like if you watch like the Clone Wars, like obviously Django dies. When they watch the Clone Wars, it's not like he like completely loves Aura Singh, but she's there for him. So he like works with her and like it's like some sort of family. We see him with his own like group, and then he like just falls back into what his father did, where it's like
with Queen Nat's Razzie.
Yeah, and Jabba is kind of a family. Like it's a routine for him to get out and do this like bounty hunting.
Like
stuff.
him with the Tuskens is like the first time he's kind of been actually accepted somewhere.
Accepted and like felt like he's belonged again to not only a routine but a place, people who respect him, people who have a decent sense of code and honor. And I think what's really cool about this is that we see, and what I loved about it is that we see him ingratiate and add that bit of texture that obviously this meant so much to him that's in part of his current armor now. Like the black replaces, like it's not like he's just to me what's really powerful is that the symbolism of the armor shows where he's past, he's present, and future, like what he stands for. And for me, the armor represents Django, and the fabrics represent his time with the Tuskens. And I think that's really beautiful, like the way that the costume design works. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I love that. And it just looks really like awesome just as well. Yeah. I'm really worried about the family thing because of course they keep focusing on the child, and we keep seeing flashbacks of Boba when he was young, and we know that he didn't have a great childhood. And in my opinion, I think what's going to happen is that the Tuskens, something bad happens to the Tuskens, and we find out Bib Fortuna's behind it. Maybe he's the one buying the spice. And Boba goes, I want to stay here with my family, but I have to go out, take my armor back, because he had like 5 years of him like without the armor. So it's not like he went out and was like, I really need this back immediately. He has to be like, okay, now I need to get the armor back. So for me, I feel like it's him saying, I need to take control of this territory, and I need to get I need to put my own justice into effect. I need to give these people and everyone, not just the Tuskens, but everyone on Tatooine, a fairer shade of like control. Like everyone deserves justice and respect. And I think that's why he goes off and kills Bib. And he's like, "Fuck you." Like I think retrospectively, going back and watching that would be really interesting because at the minute we're like, "Oh, he just wants power. Yeah, he just wants power, so he killed Bib." I think it's more of a revenge thing. It's like, "Fuck you. You and your master sucked. I'm taking control and I'm putting my own stance on things because I've been taught by the Tuskens about leadership and justice and fairness, and I want to put that out there." Like I feel like he'd be a good like leader. He'd be a good prime minister.
God, don't make him be a politician. He's too good for that.
Prime Minister.
But he's his politician. Where it's like, yeah, but if you fuck around, I will shoot.
Like every good politician.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I really love the way they're delving into this, and there's a lot of symbolism between the Tuskens and Boba that I never really thought about until the series, which really hit me this week. And I admit I cried a bunch of times during this episode because it really hit me, the symbolism of it. Like a really emotional. The thing I really loved was, first of all, when you think about Jango Fett as a character, he got fucked.
Yeah,
a lot.
In technical terms, he got
but in
fucked.
both technical terms and look at him. But he was a child who lost his parents, right? Because he was a foundling. He was picked up by the Mandalorians and raised as one of them. So he's taught that he's a Mandalorian. He goes and fights in the Civil War for them. So he literally goes off and risks his life and his blood for this culture, this people. And then afterwards, like you see in most real life situations with veterans, they get neglected. There's nothing for them. They get frowned upon. And we already know there's a cultural divide in the Mandalore where
what happened really is that afterwards Dave Filoni decided that he didn't want to be a Mandalorian.
Well, that, and also I think that what's interesting is there is also a cultural element of that, of you're not a real Mandalorian. And you see this a lot with immigration. And you see this a lot with, like, oh yeah, you were born in Britain, but just because your parents weren't from here, or you're not quite the same, you're not British, or you're not American, you're not New Zealand, And I think what's interesting is that with Jango, he's neglected. And we see this with Din as well, when Bo-Katan is like, you guys are weird. You foundlings are weird. You're not true Mandalorians, because we come from the aristocracy.
The worst.
We come from the aristocracy. We come from the actual Mandalore. And so Jango is on this, like, he's like, okay, well, what do? I can't, I have to make money. I've only got one skill, really, which has been fighting as a soldier. So I'll become a bounty hunter. Becomes a bounty hunter. Happens to be given this, like, no offense, but like crazy fucking opportunity to be like, I'll give you like billions of
very
credits.
Cushy job.
Yeah, I'll give you billions of credits if you just train yourself. And he's like, fuck it, okay, yeah, sure.
Like,
and then,
hey, handsome specimen, can we make millions of you? Sure.
And then what happens is he dies, and his face ultimately becomes the physical embodiment of its own other imperialism imposing force into the galaxy. And so for the Mandalorians, they're like, yeah, no. Like, people like douchebags like Ormec are like, yeah, no, Jango Fett isn't a Mandalorian. Like, this is like damage control. Like, he was never a Mandalorian because he's a bad guy. And then you have this other stuff of like the clone troopers having the physical face of Jango Fett literally take over Mandalore and impose this imperialistic regime across the galaxy. So then there's this other sort of nature to it. But then Boba's in the middle because he's like, but I'm not them. I'm his son, but I'm still treated the same way. So he's also an outcast. He never has a family. He doesn't feel like he belongs with the clones because they don't like him. He doesn't feel like he belongs with all these people. So he's an outcast.
Yeah, he's self-declared that he's not a Mandalorian himself.
Yeah.
I find very sad.
But I feel like he will become that in The Mandalorian. I feel like he will reclaim that title and
I hope he does.
them wrong.
I hope he proves Bo-Katan wrong. Because when she said he's not a Mandalorian, I got so mad. I was like, you know what? I hate this character now. I hate Bo-Katan. She can die for like, yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's like, but you were a terrorist too. Like, you were a terrorist.
Yeah.
You can't.
We're gonna forget about Death Watch? The Death Watch?
And I think it's really interesting. And the thing with the Tuskens is that it's the same thing. They got touched by imperialism. They were a tribe who ruled this place, and people came over and took them for granted, and now they're the savages. You see that again in real life scenarios. You see like when Britain took over different places in like Africa and stuff. Of course, the cultural tribes are the savages because they have.
I mean, they happen in New Zealand as well.
Yeah, it happened all over, and it still happens. Oh yeah, they're savages because they have a different lifestyle, different culture, different background.
Because they're not civilized and Western like us.
Civilized, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we impose our own things on them. And so when they fight back, they become, they're awful. So I hate to say this, guys, but I'm going to throw it out there because I've been thinking about this a lot. I think Shmi and Klieg were fuckers. I think they were horrible people. You know? I think Shmi's a Karen.
Damn, them some fighting words.
I'm joking. I don't know if I think Klieg was a Karen. I think
Klieg was, yeah.
The whole thing of like, yes, I fell in love with my slave and freed her is a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird.
There's a little bit to unpack there.
Yeah.
I'm still pushing my theory that he's a Black Widow. There's a bunch of graves in that sky and that Lars lot. They're his other wives. Sorry, son, your mother died. What's her bank account again? Anakin's like, what?
I don't know. I haven't seen her in like 20 years.
You tried Anakin? Okay, thanks. Everyone runs off. I thought you had no legs. But yeah, like I think it's really interesting to see it through that way. And another thing I never really thought about before is that they're both their homes, Boba and the Tuskens, are like the sea. Like they both come from places of the sea, and
there is some big symbolism there that like my brain isn't big enough to comprehend, but I'm like, I notice, I see that it's there. I am aware of it. Don't know what it means, but it's there.
I love that imagery in that Vision quest. I really loved it.
In the ocean.
Yeah. And the way that it moved, like it was underwater. Oh my god. First of all, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful animation. Holy animation.
Yeah.
Did I say animation?
You did.
Special effects. I'm gonna kill myself.
I mean, it is animated.
I've been watching the Clone Wars. I'm gonna take a COVID pass. I'm gonna take a sick kid pass.
Got that brain fog.
I'm gonna take a 4 a.m. pass.
We've all done it today. It's fine.
Yeah.
Also, for people that are watching this, Claire woke up really early to do this today. Usually, I'm the one up late, but so give her a pass. She's putting the work in.
Thanks. Content.
It's animation, fuckers.
I've been watching the Clone Wars. I've been watching the Clone Wars, so I think I got animation on the brain. That's what I watch right before bed too. So
but it just makes me feel like how resilient the Tusken people are. Like, because if this is originally like a water planet, then they must have been quite aquatic as a species.
I guess. Who knows? Like the fact that there was an ocean originally is really cool, but God, that must have been a long ass time ago.
Yeah,
which means they're a really ancient species.
Never really occurred to me either, like the Dune Sea. I was like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. But yeah, like I like the symbolism. Both of them come from water planets or like seas of their own nature, and he has to. And
even the sand itself is like a sea, yeah.
Yeah, and he feels like home with sea, like he feels at home with the sea, which I thought was really cool and really interesting to see them deal with that. We have the whole train sequence.
The guys in the trains are just dicks, honestly. Like they have no reason to be shooting the Tuskens. They could just drive right through. They're going too fast for anyone to stop them.
Right.
Yeah. And they're using the Obi-Wan Kenobi trick of using a crate dragon call.
Yeah.
Oh, they
scare them. Yeah.
And also, like, what are they gonna do? Like, they're not gonna catch you on a beta. Like, just keep going, bro.
Just keep going. Keep going fast. Like, keep your windows closed and just go.
Like, no, they might attack this armored train that's going 50 million miles an hour.
Like, no need for this, Pikes. You rat bastards.
Pikes are just, they are just rat bastards.
I am mad at this show because Pikes like they're douchebags. They've always been douchebags. They've always been like edgy drug lords. Like, hey, want some of my spice? Like, fuck off. But now they look cute.
I know. Is that the
adorable.
first time we've had a Pike unmasked?
I think it is. I was talking to you on Rogue Pod earlier. I didn't realize they were Pikes, but I did the thing of like I looked at them with their masks on, and I was like, "Huh, they look like Pikes. Interesting." And then they took the masks off, and I was like, "Oh no, they can't be Pikes then."
I think in the solo art of book, there's like a pretty similar design when they were like,
I haven't like seen that, but my thought upon seeing like the leader Pike was that is a very solo looking design.
I was like, they look adorable. You little weird druggies.
But they are little shitheads.
Yeah. I love that moment too. Like, are you carrying spice? And like, what does it look like? Like that. Just so good.
Like, come on, man! You're a Pike. Of course, you're carrying.
Of course,
spice.
you know what it looks like, and you're carrying it.
Those Tuskens were high that night.
Oh my god, that Tusken that was like there with the spice being blown in their face. I'm like, yeah, that guy's fucked.
Like, forget about Boba's trip. This guy, I want to see what that Tusken's trip.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who needs lizards when I don't know? He's gonna go on his own sort of journey there.
What did you think about the speech? Because that was another moment I cried, where Boba gave that really, really beautiful speech about how Dune is their ancestral home, and that you must pay a toll to cross them. I was like, oh, this is the shit. I can't even imagine how that feels for some like indigenous people to watch. Just really cool, and I'm really glad they delved into it as opposed to, and I have to say I really, really do love the way they've explored the Tusken people in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba, because they're just great. I love them now. That's what I said. Like, I'm going to watch back and watch Star Wars and be like, Ben Kenobi, dickhead. The Lars is awful. Shmi, maybe she deserved to. Okay.
Maybe she
cut that out.
Oh my god.
Maybe she wanted to be crucified. No,
oi, oi, oi.
No, I'm joking. Obviously, Shmi did nothing wrong. She's perfect. But everyone else, like, who treats them like savages and stuff, is like, you know. Although I actually did like a 180 on Ben Kenobi from A New Hope.
Oh, interesting.
Because when we see the Tuskens put the bodies on the fire, now I'm like, oh, is that like a ceremonial burial thing for the desert? So when they throw the Jawas on, it isn't just like, fuck them. Like, obviously C-3PO being like, whatever. Like, it is a ceremonial thing. Like, Ben's like, oh, these poor Jawas. Let's give them a nice little burial. As opposed to, ugh.
I mean,
burn them.
Jawa's a little shit.
The evidence.
So.
They are little shits, but...
Oh my god, I know.
As we've seen.
Boba.
I'm anti-Jawa murder. Unnecessary Jawa murder. I'll stake my claim on it. I'll put it out there. But that whole sequence is really cool. Very much Western trope of, the Western, like, getting off the train. Very much Lawrence of Arabia vibes. And then people saying Dances with Wolves, but I got lots of Arabia vibes with that. Just really awesome sequence. Teaching them how to ride
the training montage is like one of my favorite Star Wars moments ever. His bit with the banter.
Like a banter.
I'm just saying.
He reminded me so much of like so many family friends I've known growing up have like such a similar vibe to that. Like he's got such like a
crazy uncle.
Just like, yeah, he's got such an uncle vibe. And like he reminds me of so many people that I know, and I love it so much.
It's gonna be so cool. Just this, I mean, the whole sequence, him fighting up those douches in the bar was really cool. The shadow effect on the wall, the I love the drink.
Tim is just so perfect.
He's so good.
Everything he does is just like, I love Boba Fett. I love what he's doing with the character so much.
I know. I think what I really love, and I think like you get it a lot in the behind the scenes of Attack of the Clones, but you don't necessarily get it for that particular character, but you do get it with Boba. Tim's really fucking funny.
He's
and you
so
get
funny.
To see a lot of the comedic elements in this character, which I really do appreciate.
He's a really funny dude. He's a great actor. I'm so glad that he's like getting his chance to shine in this so much. And like, I truly love what he's doing with Boba. Like, I just adore this character so much now. He's such a dweeb.
And I love how angry boyos on the dude bros on the internet are.
They're so
Boba
mad.
Fett's not funny. He's just a killing machine.
He wouldn't do that. It was like, well, he's clearly doing.
You don't
that.
know him. You didn't know
I wrote
him
this really
before.
Like, you're
you
not
don't know
Boba
him
Fett's
now.
friend, but I am, and I will tell you that this is what he's like.
I wrote a really interesting thread about this episode on Twitter that, like, I think responded with a lot of people, and I got a lot of these like douchey film nerds coming out and being like, actually, in the original trilogy, he wasn't like that. This is just retrospective filmmaking. And ironically, their Twitter banner was Saul Goodman from Better Call Saul. And I'm like, oh, that's the comedic one-off character that had a really in-depth and expensive spin-off. Interesting. That's an interesting comment you've made.
Interesting.
As if storytelling doesn't expand or change over time. Like, I don't understand.
Boba Fett in the original trilogy, he goes out like a chump. Like,
yeah,
dude is in the background, like flying around uselessly, like, and then goes down the Sarlacc pit. Like, the dude, his armor isn't even that cool. Like, I gotta say, with the white undersuit and the like colors, it's not a great look, and I don't quite get why people love it. As soon as he's got like the repaint with the black undersuit, it looks amazing. Like, I get it.
The new one looks.
But,
I mean, I love both, but the new one, it just feels really.
But like, I've never understood the Boba Fett love until now. Now I'm like, I love him, and everyone else is like, no, this is wrong, and I'm like, no, this is good though. This is actually really good.
I've always loved Boba Fett. He's one of my favorite characters, and I've always loved, because that's the thing. He isn't not a badass. He is a badass, but in his own regard, like he's also an idiot. He's also funny.
He's a doofus. He's funny.
He's a doofus. Yeah.
I remember
complex.
One of my good friends, when I first met him, like, he knew that I like Star Wars, and he likes Star Wars too. So he was like, what's your favorite character? And he was like, Boba Fett. And I was like, ugh. And he was like, because he looks cool and he's useless, and I like that. And I was like, that's fair. But I don't like him. And after the episode of Mando came out with Boba, he was like, shit, I can't like Boba Fett anymore. He's actually cool now.
And I think what I really like about it, and I think what the recent comics have done a good job at, because there's some comics where they still fall back on the EU sort of like, he's cool, he's badass, he knows everything to do, and he can shoot everyone. But there's some comics, like obviously the Charles Soule written ones, which I think gets Boba perfectly, which is that Boba doesn't really give a shit about Han Solo. Like, people go, yeah, there's this long rivalry, and he really wanted to get that bounty. Nope, he had a job to do. He got hired to do it. He did the job, and then he got paid.
He just wants to get paid so he can go home.
That's cool. Contractor, baby.
Yeah, he's just really tired of it. That's why he's in Jabba's palace. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, he's just, guys, can you just stop? Like, I just get do something else.
Dude just had a life. Like, dude needs a rest.
He's so tired, yeah.
He's so tired.
And I think, yeah, people just want to get really angry about nothing. Like, people go say, oh, yeah, but in the OT, who cares about in the OT? Texts change over time. I said this on Twitter as well. King Arthur, if you went back to the original King Arthur text, nothing like the one we know today. Merlin, not there. Sword in the Stone, nope. He was just like a warrior king.
And I mean, nothing that's happening in this show contradicts the original trilogy.
Nope.
Not at all.
And it's even more in line with like the prequels and the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm. Like, and because people say, oh yeah, the prequels, they changed what Boba Fett meant. I'm like, no, they didn't. And also,
they made him cool.
We have lived.
Yeah. And they made him a kid, believe it or not, before someone grows in to be whatever badass you want him to be. At some point, that person was a child.
Like, oh, what a shock.
And some people still are children. They never grow out.
Facts.
And yeah, like, it's like, come on, guys. Just relax, calm down. We've lived about, I think it's like one more year, or maybe it is this year. No, one more year, I think. I don't know. Equal amounts of time, basically, between Empire and Attack of the Clones, and then Attack of the Clones and now. We've lived with the new Boba Fett, quote unquote, because 2002, Boba, for 20 years. And then Empire came out, 81? So yeah, like one year difference, basically like 20 years. Equal amounts of time with both. It's time to move on. You know?
Yeah, it really is. And like, it's like, It feels similar to like a lot of criticism I see of like dude bros that get mad about Halo, like recent Halo, where it's like they're mad that they're like a cool, tough guy that they've imprinted on, who has never really entirely been a cool, tough guy and has been kind of like a dweeb the whole time, has emotions and like feelings, and they get really mad about it. And it's like, people are allowed, it's a good thing actually to have feelings. You should try that.
You should not as fighting a weakness.
Yeah, no, it's actually okay.
Like, the fact that you are that concerned about this makes me very positive that you need to go to therapy and
yeah, you need to go.
Honestly, everybody needs to go, but especially you, good sir. Like,
yeah,
I'm worried about you.
Like, look at the pure joy in his like face, like when he's doing the banter thing, or some of the other times, like just the pure joy in his face. How can you not love that?
His absolute horror and shock at the idea of potentially ruining this beautiful gift by swallowing
He's so
it
apologetic about it.
Funniest thing I've seen. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
I think I swallowed it.
Funny. It's so wholesome.
And then later on, he goes, "I thought that was part of the dream." He's like, "What the fuck?" And Seth, you made a really great point actually about like masculinity and stuff, because I feel like that's really a recent thing that's kind of developed, this weird idea of what masculinity should be. And it reminded me a lot of, I don't know if you saw, but recently this like clip of Grace Kelly from a pirate film came. It was like trending on Twitter, of him talking, having a cigarette in his mouth, putting it in his mouth, kissing the woman, then putting it out again and having a little smoke. And all these women were like, this is like really absolutely sexy and like hot. And when you watch it, it's pretty hot. And then people are like, I genuinely feel like men like this are gone. And some dudes, but I feel like men like this are gone. Like, is it the hormones in the milk? And then someone put this really great tweet at _Pem_Pem. And they put, the serious answer is that gay people demanded rights and became recognized in the mainstream. Male heterosexuality had to reformulate as a boring, hyper-masculine parody of itself, so that its mannerisms and style could not be confused with homosexuality. And that is so on point. People are so insecure with their sexuality that they have to be this macho thing. I mean, people go, yeah, that very macho man, Grace Kelly. Like, have you seen any musical back from like the 50s and 40s? Like, literally those people are very much in control of their sexuality. But nowadays you go, oh, you're like a musical, that means you're gay. Ooh. Like, shut the fuck up.
He's literally a tap dancing man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has tippy tappy shoes.
And I do love a man that taps. Like, I gotta say, I am weak for a man that can tap.
Like, you should absolutely not sit next to me if I ever am in a musical and there's a surprise tap number featuring men.
Oh man, I get so excited when that happens.
I like, my whole body seizes up. I'm just like, so good.
Me too.
Just something about it. Someone else. Yes, I'm not alone.
Well,
I can't control the motions and the things my body does during a male tap number. I can't.
I love it. I love a man that can tap.
Speaking of which, but yeah, like, it's like, come on, like, Boba Fett could be these multitudes of things. He's just this weird
like clearly badass, because when he has that fight in the bar or whatever, like, he's really cool and really badass. Like, he has multitudes. Man has layers.
Yeah, and they do a great job of showing my favorite new camera shot is the down below POV crazy Tem eyes.
Yes. Oh man,
like, I want to be there. I want to be beaten up.
I am so scared of that man. I do not want to be on the other end of that gaffy stick for many reasons, but it doesn't help. That's how you know you're done. You see that look in Tem's eye.
Speaking of Gary Six, let's go to the final part of this episode, the trip and symbolism. We talked a little bit about the trip and how, like, the scene and the symbolism of that and stuff, but the whole sequence was just great. Great comedy, great metaphorical commentary on, like, becoming
Gave me some good Jango Boba feels, which makes me happy. Mm-hmm. That's all I want is Jango Boba stuff.
Watching his daddy fly away.
He loves his dad so much.
That made me tear up. I was like, do you think we're going to see Tem as Jango again?
I really hope so. Like, I'm kind of like, are we? Because he's quite a bit older now.
But
and it will be
de-aging.
kind of obvious. But yeah, de-aging is a thing. But I'm also just like, I really hope we do, because I really would like to see Django again. And I really do think that like this trip will be part of what pushes him to leave, is because he's had that memory of his dad and like needs to go find his armor and everything.
I really hope we get to see, if we do get to see Django, while it'd be cool to be like, oh yeah, we get to see like him be badass. I kind of really want to see a moment of those two being loving to each other.
Yeah, I would love to see a sweet moment between them. That would be all I want. That I would be set for life if I got that.
I mean, I would just literally film that reaction and just go back to bed and cry a little.
I want to go back to the Jiggly twins. There was less emotions with the Jiggly twins. I mean, yeah, I'm the sort of idiot loser who saw the Slave One last week, the Django Slave One. I was like, this is me, I'm done. I died. I'm happy. Then we saw it fly this week. I'm like, we're going to see this man walk down the ramp, and then we're going to see like them cuddle. I want to see them cuddle and smile.
Oh, man.
Even if he says, I'm proud of you, throws a baseball at him, he catches it.
There was a baseball at him.
Spaceball.
No, sorry. It would be a rugby ball, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
I can't believe this fucking cultural erasure.
Me, my American ways.
Baseball. We play cricket here. We play the worst of the sports.
Cricket's great if you have 10 weeks to watch it.
God. Fuck cricket.
Cricket's the fucking worst. I hate cricket. My dad loves it. He stays up till like 3 a.m.
It's like baseball, but so much worse.
Oh god.
It's baseball with tea.
With tea.
Can you imagine like a little rugby ball in space?
A little space rugby ball.
I love it.
Don't pass backwards. Yeah, I'd love it. What else? The symbolism, I guess. Oh yeah, obviously the putting the costume on, him all becoming part of the tribe officially, and then the dance at the end.
The dance is so beautiful.
Yeah, I know people keep calling it the haka, but I don't think it is the haka.
It's not a haka. It doesn't look like a haka at all.
Mm-mm.
Like those are a haka is like quite an aggressive thing, and it's
aggressive, like
not,
tribal, like
yeah. It's not like a peaceful dance like that, and even like it's really not a Māori thing. Like that's not what they're taking that from.
Mm-hmm.
At least not like anything I've ever seen. Obviously I'm not like an expert, but
no, yeah,
I have seen quite a lot of stuff. I definitely don't think that was the culture they were taking it from. And seeing people call it that, I'm just like, you don't know shit, man. Like, at least watch a haka before you start saying this.
Yeah, I mean, I watch rugby, so I'm like,
miss.
Yeah.
Actually, there's no swing missing in rugby, Claire. You
throw in a catch. I mean, it's throwing.
We were talking about cricket earlier.
Talk about that. No, yeah, like I mean, we watch rugby. I watch New Zealand play rugby all the time. And it's like that's not what they were doing.
Yeah, like I was involved in like kapa haka when I was in school and stuff, which is like doing the dances and the song, the waiata and stuff like that. And yeah, it didn't feel familiar at all in that way. I think it was just something else.
But also we're open.
But it was beautiful.
I mean, we're not saying specifically. We don't actually know. We're just giving our interpretation. But if there's anyone who's a Maori watching this video, please do leave a comment and enlighten us, because education is always good.
The thing that kills me the most about Boba Fett is like the thing that gets me is hearing everyone mispronounce Māori in different ways.
How am I saying it wrong? Can you tell me how to say it properly?
Maori.
You
Yeah, you gotta
roll your R.
Kind of like a D.
Okay.
Maori.
Yeah, you get in there.
Okay. I'm terrible at rolling my R's, that's why. Okay, so.
No, I'm terrible too. That's why it's more like a D than an R, kind of.
Okay. I'm gonna practice on that, and next week I'm gonna try and do it properly.
My crusade is getting everyone to pronounce it correctly in podcasting.
No,
it's
that's
okay.
absolutely...
You should have heard how Danny said it earlier in Rogue Pod, and it was very funny.
Oh wow. No, that's the best part about, I feel like, Star Wars and any sort of form of media, is that you're learning new information. That's why I love Doctor Who, like all the historical stuff that you learn from that show. And
there is a lot of cultural stuff you can learn from Star Wars if you actually like read more and like listen to people who are involved in those like cultures, which is really cool. And it's like really, it feels kind of like home having Tim like put so much of his culture into it. Like the faces he makes when he fights, like he makes like exclamations in Reo when he's fighting as well. Like the way he says Jabba, like with the R, like Jabba. Which is like the way that we say, like when he did that, I did like the Leonardo DiCaprio point. I was like, that's what we do. That's how we talk. And like just the expressions he makes, the way he acts is just, it feels like home, and it's really nice to see.
There's a lot of, obviously like New Zealand own culture, but there's a lot of Commonwealth commonalities. I feel like me and Saf get from this. So I remember last week we were messaging each other, like just hearing him say mate.
When he said mate, oh man, I love that he says mate.
Like that, mate.
Oh god, it's so good. Like
he said another one this week, but I can't remember what it was. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. He said another sort of like
a bugger.
Bugger.
Yeah, when he said like a trigger little bugger, I was like, "Hey!"
I want more people to say bugger.
It makes me very happy. It brings me so much joy that he gets to bring so much of himself to that character.
Yeah, and it seems like he's very much not just acting, but he's also like helping produce and be part of that conversation.
Like he's actually like involved in it behind the scenes, which is really good.
And of course, with Robert Rodriguez being a Latin American as well, also giving his background and information, helping push those voices up is pretty cool as well.
I still think the creative team is still pretty damn white, but there's at least something.
Yeah, they're getting there.
They're getting there very slowly. They just really need to stop having it just be Favreau and Filoni in charge.
I don't know if that will happen soon, but I feel like
I gotta say, I'm dreading the Dave Filoni episode.
Is he writing one for the season?
He's directing one of the episodes, yeah.
Oh.
And I gotta say, I love Filoni as an ideas guy. He comes up with cool ideas. Do not love him as a director.
Yeah.
What? Even if Honda appears, can you imagine? My friend. That'd be crazy. Do you have any theories for the future of the episode of like the series? Like, have you got any theories? Because obviously we see like the spice train. Clearly, the Pikes are working for someone in the past. There are like potential rumors and speculation about who they're working for, who could possibly appear in the series. Do you have any idea?
I honestly my brain was just like, yeah, this is just a one-off thing. They're never going to go back to this.
Okay, interesting.
And I could be right or it could be wrong. I will accept either.
Do you have any idea? Do you have any theories at all of anyone who could return in the series, or do you think
it could be? Let's see. It could be Mace Windu.
That'd be interesting.
I would like to see a clone. I don't know if we will, but I would like to see one.
Yes, have Temp talking to Temp. I want a scene of so many Temps.
Oh my god, I would love that.
Temps across the board. I need it.
Because I want to see how adult Boba reacts to like a clone. I'm curious, but I know there's not really any clones around at this point either. They're all pretty old or dead.
Yeah,
they have a pretty rough life too.
Oh,
true.
Otherwise, like, I don't really have any strong theories on anything. Like, at some point he's gonna have to leave Tatooine, I guess, because we see him off Tatooine and Mando. Like, I don't know how they're gonna tackle all of that stuff. Like, is one of the episodes just gonna be a replay of Mandalorian? Like, who knows?
I think we will see Din. At least.
Yeah, we'll definitely see Din, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more. I was thinking like, will it be? Because I just assumed in my head that we'd see him in like the future elements, but I feel like actually we might see him in some of the past.
I want to see him and Boba interact post the final episode, like after he's going up Grogu.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to see that because I like the tragedy of that. Because there's like the parallel of Boba was like he lost his dad to the Jedi, and then he gets to see someone lose their son to the Jedi.
Oh, God damn.
And yeah, I like that. So I'd like to see some interaction there. I don't know if we'll get it, but that's what I would like.
It's just gonna be like, okay, who did you give the kid to? And he goes, just some guy
some
called
twink
Luke
with a green
Skywalker.
lightsaber.
And then he goes, "Wait, Luke Skywalker," and it just flashes back to him getting whacked on the jetpack, and then all you hear is, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." He's like, "You okay?"
He's like, "You've made a huge mistake, man. You need to get your kid back."
Yeah. Like, I fought that kid in his old house once. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, Claire, any ideas of like or sort of theories or?
I mean, I don't think personally that the Pikes are gonna take the reclaiming of Tusken land lightly. I don't think that the crime syndicates are gonna be too happy about what's going down. So I think next episode we're probably gonna get a flashback of a larger force coming back to. So I think maybe we could get some crime syndicate action cameos. Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Crimson Dawn. I think Crimson Dawn are behind it.
Because... Yeah. Well, their fragile alliance with the Pikes or whatever.
Well, that, yeah.
I wonder if that's still intact. Maybe not. Who knows?
Also, like it just retrospectively feels really weird for them out of nowhere to be like, "Oh yeah, Kira's coming back in a comic book."
Yeah.
I feel like there has to be a little bit more behind that, right? Like, I swear to God, if
I don't know, but they already have a brunette girl that we've seen in the trailer. You can't have more than one.
That's true.
People will just get confused.
That's true. What about all the blondes?
I'm just saying, Star Wars, they clearly do not have enough brunette white women. Demographic, we are lacking.
At least this one has a fringe, so I'm like, oh, like some representation for me, finally. A brunette with a fringe. Finally. Who am I kidding? Rose already gave me the fringe representation I needed. I don't need more.
Yeah. I'm gonna be really I might get cancelled over this, but I'm gonna say it. I'm personally, I'll never get tired of brunettes in Star Wars. I'm gonna leave it out there, you know. More
Charlie's
brunette,
gonna type please. Space brunette.
Well, it's kind of like how I don't even be sick of seeing blue ladies in Star Wars, so you know. Not getting enough of them lately, I gotta be honest.
We might see more, hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
Well, we saw a blue lady
we saw Kira, though.
in this show, right? We saw
what was it? Twilight? Yeah, I think there was a blue Twi'lek.
And Max Rebo.
And Max Rebo, yeah.
Oh, of course. How can we get the most sexiest character in Star Wars?
The bluest boy out there.
Also, I do want to apologize. One of our commenters on YouTube put a really cool fact about like how the puppeteered Max Rebo, and I replied, "I don't think that's true. I don't think that's correct. I feel like they hired a blue elephant to play the keyboard."
They just got a blue. They found a blue guy.
Yeah, like, excuse me, Mr. Blue Elephant Man. Yes, can you play the keyboard? You won't believe this. What? I'm a jazz artist. Oh, great.
Oh my God,
this is exactly what we need.
This is what we've been looking for.
Yeah, I feel like Crimson Dawn's a good bet. Maybe Kira would be awesome. Like if Emilia Clarke just showed up, because we know that obviously. I feel like there's a lot of nice crossovers with like the Disney plus Marvel and Star Wars stuff going on, just because of the nature of like, oh, this is fun to work on, or maybe like the sets and stuff. We know Emilia Clarke's working on Secret Invasion for Marvel, so maybe she tried out a little bit of a test with Book of Boba. She just certainly likes the character, so that'd be really interesting to see. But there's still a lot of other characters that could potentially be there.
Lots.
Cad Bane, I suppose. We never really found out about Cad Bane.
I mean, he is in the Bad Batch, so it's possible that we do see him.
Yeah.
I'm trying, like, I've been sitting here hoping that that's the one that's going to be in here. However, I've officially, started I'm hoping for too many things to happen in this series, which, as we know on the internet, is not a good thing, not a good recipe for success. So I feel bad wishing for both Salacious and Cad Bane. So I'm trying to like reel my excitement in. So I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Well, it's fine.
What I would really like to see, I'll save you from that. What I would really like to see is Omega.
Yes.
I know it's very unlikely, but I would love to see Omega.
I want it. Go find your family, Bober. Come on.
See him, or at least him acknowledge her.
I want him to realize he has a sister.
You're not alone.
Yeah, and like I know if she turned up in this, it would like spoil if she survives the Bad Batch or whatever. But like, I still want to see him and like her interact. Like, I would kill for that in Star Wars. Thanks. Like, literally, I would kill a man.
a healthy brother and sister relationship in Star Wars.
Yeah. He deserves it. She deserves
He
it.
does. They all do.
He's always been looking for family, and it's right there.
It's right there. Yeah. The theme of family is like really, it's great. I love it. And like, my personal theory is that the past is not going to tie into any of that shit whatsoever. It's just telling its own insulated story, which I could be entirely wrong on, but that's how I vibe with it.
That'd be cool. Or it catches up right at the end with the we go inside, we shoot Bib, sit down. That's the plan. Like he's written it on like a whiteboard.
I think like maybe the Tuskens will come back in the final episode, like in the future or the present.
Oh,
That'd be neat.
All of his family together.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we know that Favreau and Filoni have got this like grand plan of like show crossover, like Avengers type ending. I'm telling you, we're gonna get Siege of Mandalore too.
Yeah, we're gonna get some Mandalore shit.
We're gonna get like a whole. I think like the culmination of this will be like the Siege of Mandalore 2, where Din and Boba will be leading, because they're going to be like the two outsiders who will be the saviors of Mandalore.
God, I would love Boba to be the savior of Mandalore and to prove Bo-Katan fucking wrong.
Wouldn't it be neat if we have like like the ending of A New Hope, but like the opposite of like Bo-Katan giving Boba Fett a medal and Din
trying to fit it over the top of the helmet.
Grogu.
Oh, it gets us a little medal.
I want that. I want that stuff. I want that. I feel like that's a good sort of crossover. You know, you have like people. I guess Ahsoka can help out. She's already been through one siege of Mandalore.
Man,
she's like, oh, this
can
is what
she
I did.
not? Can she not? Can she just be far away? Thanks.
Yeah, she can go do your own thing, Ahsoka.
Yeah, she can go be far away, or like Boba can kill her or something. I guess. Not a sentence I thought I would ever like say before this year, but that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now. This is what Filoni's done to me.
You've been personally victimized.
I have been.
If you've been affected by Dave Filoni, please call this number. But yeah, I feel like that's all we got really much to talk about this week, right? We've talked about everything in depth.
Yeah, I think so.
So we've got to go to our overall thoughts and score, and we can only do that by giving us our new score system. Now, rather than rating things out of 10, we're doing it differently this year for this show. And we're going to be rating things out of 10 with our a little Tamora Morrison rating system.
I love that picture so much.
He's so cute. So cute.
Saf, do you want to give us your rating out of 10?
Oh, yeah. I'll give this one a solid 8 out of 10.
You like this, Claire? Claire, what's your rating out of 10?
It's really cute. I would say there's something about rating out of 10 that makes you not want to do half a 10.
Yeah,
I
don't
like
want to. Yeah,
we're gonna go whole 10s here. I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm gonna put an 8 out of 10. Because I know that there's room for so much more 10 goodness. You know, so I know that there's so much coming, but there were some really, really excellent moments, and I love the little up climb that we're going on. I know we're about to jump off the cliff here in a few episodes, so I'm excited. He's doing so good. I just love him so much.
I love him so much. This makes me so happy.
I'm just happily surprised that, because I love Boba Fett and I was excited for the show anyway, but I just figured it might be like a little palate taster until The Mandalorian season 3 comes along. Like a nice little bit of, bit of a filler to be like, that's a bit of Boba Fett history. But actually, I feel like this show is very much emotionally charged and a really good symbolization of, that's not a word, I made that up, a symbol of Boba Fett. And it's everything I ever wanted from the character, and the respect that they're giving the character. I feel like that's the biggest thing, respect for him.
It's everything really I didn't know I needed from him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just love what they're doing. So I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Because I really did enjoy it. And like you said, Claire, there's always room for more 10. I feel like
always
that's
room.
True.
Always.
I'm always ready for another helping of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his face. He's so happy.
Even if this show ends up sucking at the end, like, it's going to be my favorite just because it has so much TM.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have been given.
I'm just so happy. Well, that's all we have time for this week on the Bibliotheque of Boba Fett. Saf, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Wanderlustin. You can. Wow, that's so fancy. I am on Rogue Quadrant, the podcast, which is similarly chaotic. That's pretty much me. That's me.
Perfect. Don't forget that you can follow us on Imp Senate Pod and on Instagram at Imperial Senate Pod. We also have a Facebook page, and all those good details are found in the link below. Don't forget to support the show by buying our merchandise or becoming a patron on patreon.com/the Imperial Senate Podcast. All links, again, are available in the description below. Claire, where can people find you, though?
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at cstribs. There I am. You can catch me on, obviously you can catch me here. You can catch me doing reaction videos on our YouTube channel. You can catch me streaming on the Twitch occasionally, but I have been dying, so I have not been streaming. So that's been kind of bummered. I'll get back to it, guys. I'll be back on the Twitch soon. And then you can also find me every Sunday night on listen to that. Every Sunday night on Shooting the Poodoo over at the Broaxium YouTube channel. And most of the time you can catch me reviewing Dr. Aphra for their quick shots. Except this time because I was dying. And that's it.
Perfect. You can find me on Twitter at CMWASHBY and on Instagram at CharlieMWAshby. You can support me on Patreon, Ko-fi, the links of which are available on my Twitter bio through my Linktree URL, or you can just click here. There you go. Nice little link. How great is that? But yeah, thank you all for joining us this week. We'll be back next time. But until then, bye.
Bye.